Let's bring in our guest this hour to discuss. From Austin, Texas, criminal defense attorney Sam Bassett is with us. Sam, we've got a situation where it sounds like the defense may have done this with strategy and ending in an early point, making the state scramble. Have you seen that play out well for a defense team?
One of the hard parts about being a prosecutor is you don't have a preview into what the defense is going to do, and you have to react quickly in terms of lining up your witnesses, and oftentimes the defense just rests quickly, and the prosecutors have to scramble to determine, number one, are they going to call rebuttal witnesses, and number two, who are they going to call and where are they?
I'm not sure to what extent you've been following this over the years, but it has been many years that these families, first they were looking for any sort of break. It took years and years to even get to Richard Allen, and now here we are. Judge Gall, she didn't allow cameras, but she also didn't allow a lot of other things in this case, including any talk of this cult, this Odinism that the defense really was just piggybacking on the investigators' first paths. I mean, they were going down this route, and they wanted to bring it in at trial. The judge said, no talk of this cult. Is this a case, and I know, it seems as though the judge has been a bit one-sided in all of her rulings. Is it maybe getting to the point where this could be appealable, that Judge Gall may have gone too far? And as a prosecutor, sometimes getting every decision can backfire, can it not?
Oh, yes. I think if he's convicted, there will definitely be an appeal in the case. And, alternative perpetrator, alternative strategy theories are usually considered fairly relevant if there's enough of a nexus to the facts of the case. I suspect the judge is highly sensitive to the extreme publicity on this case in this area, and is probably concerned about any kind of circus-like atmosphere if you start talking about paganism and theories of girls being sacrificed for some spiritual or religious reason.
Yeah, this jury has been kept sequestered, and no doubt that's going to help with keeping them away from these other theories that were out there. If they were, in fact, truthful during voir dire, if they had not heard some of these other theories, that really does help the state keep them focused on what they are presenting in this case. Every time I see that video, Sam, of this man who the state says that's Richard Allen, he's the last person these girls saw, I wonder if there's enough evidence connecting him as that person. We didn't get to see him walk in a normal gait. You saw those videos of him behind bars during this trial, or the people inside of the courtroom did, and those reporters who were able to see it because it was shown to the jury, but they don't get to see Richard Allen in his, it seems, natural habitat, for lack of a better word, how he was at the time, and compared to this video that was so important. Do you think a video like this, even though we don't have more than just this clip and these words down the hill, is that something that jurors hang on to? Because video is usually some of the most powerful evidence inside of a courtroom.
I think it's a piece of the puzzle for the prosecution. In of itself, I don't think the video convicts him. But when you combine it with the phone call admissions, the bullet found at the scene, and the admission of Richard Allen himself in the investigation that he was in the area around that time, I think that those pieces of the puzzle can be closed up, and the circumstantial case can be made that he's guilty of this crime.
The confessions, to me, really stand out. Multiple confessions, some with multiple people at different times. To what degree do you think, Sam, the defense can be successful in saying, hey, there's no there to this jury, and pay no attention to Richard Allen and what he was saying because he was under so much duress during this period of time and his incarceration was over the top? To me, that's the heaviest burden, the highest hurdle, because why would he keep confessing time after time? Your thoughts on the importance of those confessions and the importance of Judge Gall letting them in?
It is a tough mountain to climb when you have jail call evidence. I've had to deal with it numerous times. The only choice the defense has in this case is to try to explain why he's stating he committed this crime by virtue of some sort of mental illness or the cruel conditions and coercive conditions he was put in. It is a very tough hill to climb, and you deal with these calls the best you can. When you have a client, you tell them not to talk on the phone about the case. It's an issue over and over again in today's society that all of their calls are recorded and are some of the most damaging evidence at a trial.
We see that play out time and time again here on Court TV. Sam Bassett, thank you for that analysis. We are going to get to a break. We'll bring you the latest out of Delphi. But again, the latest for now is that the defense has rested. And we're going to turn our attention back to Ohio with the Quinton Nixon case, where he is waiting for his sentencing and is about to speak to the judge.
Sam Bassett watching along with us, criminal defense attorney, Austin, Texas. Your thoughts on the judge's sentence here for this defendant?
I think her sentence recognized that this was a drug-fueled act. It was not something that she believes that he would have done in his current state. So she did acknowledge the influence and the impact of methamphetamine, paranoia in the conduct, most likely. I'm sure from her remarks, she's seen several cases, if not dozens, involving drugs and tragic circumstances that can result when people are under the influence of something like methamphetamine. It just definitely alters your mind and makes you see a reality that is just not there.
Yeah, she certainly used that time to speak out, it seems, on the violence being seen there in her jurisdiction. Akron, Ohio is where this courthouse is located. She mentioned that he had the option, of course, to be appointed an attorney if he wants to appeal. He said, yes, he wants to appeal, and yes, he wants an attorney now. Sam, do you think there would have been a different outcome? We know the judge hinted at this, but a different outcome in general if he had an attorney representing him?
You never know necessarily, but I think definitely the self-defense evidence that you put on in a case like this is complicated. It's a complicated strategy. It's complicated to get somebody ready to testify in a self-defense case. And the jury instruction is very complicated too if you elect a jury trial. And to me, him not electing a jury trial is also problematic. Was a problematic decision for him. So the old axiom is the person who represents themselves has a fool for a client. It is a real tough thing to do for a lay person to represent themselves.
Absolutely, and we see it play out here at Court TV every now and then, and every time it's the same conclusion. It's like, would have done better with an attorney. Let's get a break. When we come back, we're going to head back to South Carolina. Seems like ages ago we were watching the Craig Lewis case, his daughter, the victim's daughter, on the stand. Well, we're going to pick it up where we left off before all the breaking news between Delphi and the case up in Ohio. So we'll head back there when we come back.